Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. There is something that you can do that can alleviate potentially stress, anxiety, ward off sickness, disease. It is one of the simplest things ever. You basically don't have to do anything. What am I talking about? You just got to sleep. That's it, sleep. But so many of us have challenges with that, staying asleep, going to sleep. So we're going to dig into that today and help you get a restful sleep. And she's back with us from myquantumheal.com, Dr. Cecilia Cervantes on the program. Cecilia, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's Friday.
Oh, yeah, which means one thing. I am sleeping late tomorrow.
Sleep in.
Yes. It's crazy that those are the things you look forward to, but that's because you know that you're going to feel so much better when you get a good night's sleep. And I don't know, I don't want to use the word epidemic now, but I truly believe that so many people are dealing with sleep issues. You feel the same?
Oh, yes. And it's because there are lots of different things that are causing that. Many distractions, being on the screens all day and all night, many things, people's diets, their beliefs. Some people believe, oh, I just need 4 hours of sleep. Well, that's not true. It's not healthy. So sleep is important, so important.
It really is. And I didn't realize that until about 6 years ago when I was not getting enough sleep. I was working multiple jobs. I had crazy hours, working on a backyard renovation. So all these things going together. But the main thing was not enough sleep. And I gave myself an ulcer. Didn't even know what it was. There was something going on, which when you're not really sure what it is, that builds up the anxiety. I'm like, what is happening, to the point where I actually took myself to the hospital. I couldn't do it anymore. I was just so, yes. And it was on my birthday too. I was at the beach and with my family. I'm like, we gotta go. We gotta leave. And it's centered on sleep. And that was my wake up call, how important it is.
Yes.
Do you find that people have more trouble staying asleep or going asleep? Or is it a mix of both?
It could be a mix. It depends on what's going on with them. There are different reasons for not getting enough sleep. But I do want to say that sleep is foundational. It is very important. When we sleep, we restore. We restore ourselves, and we get rid of broken DNA. We get new cells coming in. We are really, it's the time of day or night, as it were, where we are replenishing ourselves and replacing things that need to be replaced. We're rebuilding ourselves. Our cells don't live forever. So we're rebuilding our body when we sleep. And that's why it's so important. And for many years, we didn't know why that it was important. We didn't really give it much attention until about 20, 30 years ago. And there's been a lot of studies with regards to sleep and why is it important. And it is so, so important. Even the animals need sleep. Everyone needs sleep. We all need sleep so that we can restore ourselves. And sleep, I would say, in my words, that it's a neurological event. It's an orchestration of what's going on with your nervous system and the chemicals that are coming in and out. We have this rhythm that helps us to prepare for sleep, that circadian rhythm, the day-night cycle, the light-dark cycle. And before electrification of the world, people would naturally know that when the sun went down, it was time to get ready for sleep. And now we are electrified, and technology's gone crazy, and so people don't get as much sleep as they should, and they don't prepare properly for sleep.
Interesting correlation there, because now, like you said, there's so much going on, devices, light, all of that's preventing us from getting a good night's sleep. But at the same time, if you look back in the day, they were sleeping more. The sun went down. Shortly thereafter, people went to sleep, got up very early, maybe farming, whatever it might be. There was less disease, less problems, less challenges back then, as far as I know, doing research.
It's true. It's true. When we became electrified, a lot of chronic disease did increase. And now we have a lot of EMS, uh, the cell phones,
Electromagnetic field, right? Yeah.
electromagnetic fields and electromagnetic waves. They're all over. We have towers all over. We have our cell phones. We have Wi-Fi. We have Bluetooth. We have all these things. And we have essentially a lot of invisible waves going through our body day and night. That is not healthy for us because we are electrical beings as well. Our immune system, our nervous system, and our cardiovascular system are all electrical. So we have these competing forces with with these towers and Wi-Fi and all these different things that are affecting us and making us sicker and aging us. It does age us because we're
Mm.
not restoring.
I never thought of it that way, Cecilia. Interesting point that we could be aging faster, even with all our technology, because all of this stuff is preventing us from regenerating because we're not sleeping properly. What about getting into some best practices when it comes to sleeping? Tips that you have, things that we should be aware of?
Yes. There's sleep hygiene. People have used that term, and it's a good term. It's a good thing to do. At night, when the sun starts to go down, we should really start making some changes into our habits. Um, Number one, we shouldn't drink. We should stop drinking caffeine after like 2, 3, 4 o'clock. That's also important because those are stimulants. And then as the light, the sun comes down, we should start, reducing those blue screens, television and things like that, and start kind of winding down the day, preparing for sleep. Uh, right before sleep, don't eat a very heavy meal. Don't drink too much alcohol. These are things that can disrupt your sleep as well. In your room, in your bedroom, reduce your electronics. Reduce the electronics. Some people go as far as to shut off the electricity in the bedroom because
Mm.
there's electricity in the walls, right?
Wow.
There are wires in the walls, and so
Mm.
that all of that can affect us to a certain extent. Exactly. And
Never thought of
so
that.
yes, and then some people nowadays they commonly use their cell phones for uh, an alarm clock. Wrong. Not good. Put your phone at least on airplane mode, and better yet, put it out of the room. But if you insist on keeping it in the room, put it on airplane mode. Do not put it under your pillow. You're still going to get some effects of that. Um, Cell phones put out a lot of electricity. They put out like 900 megahertz or more. It's a lot. When you put your cell phone to your ear, after a while you got to take it away because it starts to hurt. What's that? That's the electricity. That's the non-ionizing radiation. So, cell phone out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
Um,
Unfortunately, a lot of us use it in place of a landline. So we keep it there aside from using it as your alarm clock. But you may be worried that you might miss an important phone call. Then put it in the hallway and crank up the volume, whatever you have to do. I can't tell you how many times mine is sitting on the nightstand and all of a sudden I hear, I'm like,
yeah.
because it was one notification from one app that I totally forgot, haven't used in like 6 months, that happened to be buzzing through, and then that wakes you up, or that uh, incorrect phone call. I got one at 4:30 the other morning. I actually had trouble sleeping. Finally got to sleep, and it was just like a robocall. Yeah, I think we'd be doing ourselves major favors if we could take that phone and get it out of the bedroom.
Right. What did we do in the 90s and the 80s? We
Yeah,
didn't
right.
use our cell phone. It's not that long ago. We didn't need them. We found other ways. We had alarm clocks. Start
Hmm.
buying an alarm clock.
$20, people, $20. I'm actually thinking about doing it myself, just
It's
so, right?
yeah. It's easy. It's safe. And we have become too attached to these phones. Now imagine what it might be doing to children. They have their neurology is still developing. Their brains are still developing till their mid-20s. This isn't good for children
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
walk around all day with a cell phone and or to sleep with it in their bedroom.
And too early to do the research on it because, think about, yeah, cell phones have been around, from the mass scale, maybe 20 years, somewhere around there. Like we're to the point where just about everybody had one. Um, Still too early to see the effects of that. Yeah, can you imagine, Cecilia, in 20 years from right now, they come out with studies saying that, brain issues, brain activity, brain cancer, and things like that came from having your cell phone.
There's been an increase in brain cancers like I've never seen before. When I
Oh.
started studying medicine, brain cancers, such as what we see nowadays, was kind of rare. So there has been an increase in brain cancers and lots of other diseases as well. So this is
Hmm.
not good for us. It's not good for us. And we have to live wisely with it. It's not going away, but we have to be smart about it. Um, and that reminds me, smart homes and smart this and smart that is not so smart. You have you have you have these invisible waves in your house when you have these things on. Turn off your Wi-Fi at night, and better
Hmm.
yet, get your house hardwired. Hardwire everything so you don't have Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi are invisible waves in your house. Turn it off at night.
It's a
That's
really
going to
good thought.
be
That is
yes,
I'm a geek.
easy.
I'm a tech geek. Rewiring your house to be hardwired, not easy to do and
Right.
can be extremely costly. But
Mhm.
you can set your router up so that it shuts off at a certain time. Let's face it, are you really using your phone between, midnight and 6 a.m.? Shut it off. It'll automatically shut off. Set the timer. It's okay.
Yeah, just just live with it wisely. Reduce,
Yeah.
mitigate the damage by doing this. And if you have a smart meter in your house, hopefully it's not behind your bedroom. I
Hmm.
got rid of the smart meter. I told them I want analog. I pay a little extra for it. Guess what? It's worth it because it was right behind my bedroom.
Yeah. These things we don't think of because we take it for granted, thinking that the government, well, they approved it. It's got to be safe. It wouldn't be on the market. But look at the majority of the food we eat are tainted with pesticides and
Yes.
garbage, and and that got passed through. There's no problem with that.
Yeah, cell phones they're a toxin, and the World Health Organization deemed that it was a probable carcinogen. There you go.
Wow.
Yes, but who listens to that?
Yeah.
The media doesn't flash that all over. It's not breaking news, but it is truly breaking news. It is a probable carcinogen. We have to live better if we're going to keep these items in our life
All right. So how
because
about
it's yeah. Go
more
ahead.
sleep hygiene? I'm
Yes.
fascinated, and and I have questions too. So keep going. What do we got?
Yeah, yeah. So you want to start winding down, starting after dinner. Start winding things down. Dim the lights in the house. You don't want to have bright lights above you at that time. Just start to wind that sort of stuff down. And we talked about let's see, eating and not having a lot of alcohol, things like that. You can do some. You can take in some herbal teas that help to relax you, things that are going to relax you and get you ready for sleep. Uh,
Can we go there for just a moment? So I've heard that teas are beneficial. I stay completely away from caffeine. It just jacks me up. And
yeah.
not even just at night, even during the day. What teas can you or should you drink in the evening to sleep better? Like I hear chamomile tea. Does that contain caffeine?
That doesn't contain caffeine, and
Okay.
there's one company that calls it sleepy time tea
Okay.
because it does help to relax you. It's a nervine, so it relaxes the nervous system, and it really does help. Caf, so sleepy time tea, yes. Passion flower is a very good herb that helps to stop that vicious cycle of thinking uh, where you're thinking about everything that you need to fix right when you get to bed. Um, you have
Hmm.
all these repetitive thoughts. Oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that. Passion flower tea is very, very good for that. It's indicated for that kind of, brain that doesn't shut off. So there are lots of different things like such as ashwagandha also is very good. Um, there's others as well. And of course, if you're going to be using herbs, and you're on medications, you want to discuss that with your physician to make sure there's no contraindications or cross reactions, things like that. So always do that. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you what the possibilities are.
How about melatonin? Many of us gravitate in that direction. I found that it works for a couple of nights and then doesn't really work so much anymore. Have you heard that?
Yes, our body naturally makes melatonin, and sometimes we don't have enough for a variety of reasons. Um, you can get a 24-hour urine to see how much melatonin's in your body if you want to go that far. And then you want to make sure that the melatonin you're taking truly has melatonin in it as much as it takes, as much as it says it does. And always start low and go slow, just start off with a small amount and see. Um, so melatonin is also a potential possibility of taking right before sleep.
I heard 10 milligrams is the maximum of melatonin.
Yes.
So you're suggesting maybe start with 2.5 or maybe 5 to get you.
Yeah, 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams. Just start low and see how it goes. Maybe don't take it every night, maybe every other night. I don't know. You just kind of have to experiment with it, and see. And and it could be something else that's causing you not to sleep. We're listing a lot of different things that we need to look at,
Yeah.
especially if you're on the computer a lot all day. That is a big thing right there. That blue light is disturbing to the melatonin. It lowers your melatonin levels, and it also destroys, the EMS also destroy your mitochondria. So there's a variety of things. It's an orchestration, everything that we do, one thing affects another. There's a lot going on.
Well, we're talking about taking something like melatonin. What about some of the other things out there, over-the-counter medications that are available? I've heard, and even just looking at the chemical makeup of the majority of them, they're antihistamines. That's all they are.
Yeah, a lot of them are antihistamines, and antihistamines will also dry you out. And so you have to be aware of that. It's better to do something more natural. I don't really recommend some of those over-the-counter medications. It is something that you want to look at all the different factors and correct them before you go to medications.
Yeah, it's I forgot about that. They dry you out, and there could be other side effects. And for anybody that doesn't connect the dots, with a lot of antihistamines, it says may cause drowsiness when you take it for congestion, but that's not why it works as something that can help you fall asleep. What about prescribed medications to help you fall asleep? I know there's so many of them. Everybody's different. I'm not asking for your suggestion on which one is better than the other, but just as an overview of that, what are your thoughts?
Well, you really have to have a discussion with your doctor. They're benzodiazepines, they're more anxiolytics, they're anti-anxiety medications, and they can be habit forming. I don't prescribe those for sleep. If someone comes to me and says, I can't sleep at night, when we do the deep dive and we look at everything, I don't, that kind of sleep is never very good. There are lots of medication side effects, and you can get too drowsy. So if you get up and go to the bathroom, you might fall and hurt yourself. So there's a lot of things to consider. And a lot of people will report that the following day, they're very drowsy. They don't feel right.
Yes.
So I don't want to create more problems. I want to look at the problem and do a deep dive on that and see what we can do to mitigate it without going to medications. So it's something that between you and your physician, if you're going to get a prescription, I'm not going to recommend any because it's an individual thing. And it's the last thing you should go to. Yeah,
I could just on text and talking to a friend that was taking one thing, switched it up, now taking something else. This is in the period of like a week or two. Now, different dosage of the one, it's Visceral, um,
Yeah.
which is I think, an anti-anxiety medication. Then, even myself, somebody, I don't know if I shared this with you, but yeah, I don't know, like a year or so ago, prescribed something uh, for me to help me sleep. And it's just I take it every, was taking it every couple of days. My friend's an EMT. He's looking on the shelf of my place. He's like, "Do you realize that you're taking seizure medication?" Like, what? And it's also used for that. So
Yeah.
I changed that up
Yeah.
to an antidepressant to sleep. I can't think of the name, but it was like one of the first ones that came out literally in 1980. But it also helps you sleep, and that's primarily what it's used for. Didn't work for me. Made me actually anxious. Like I was just like kind of like this, and my heart was beating fast. Eventually, I fell asleep. I think because probably it wore off. I just gave up on all of them, and I just try to do what you're saying. Just best practices. Just sleep at the same time every night. Watch what you eat and drink before you go to sleep. Try to minimize stress, screen time, all of those, and eventually, when you start doing it, it helps. However, it's not a, no pun intended, overnight thing. It takes time. You can't just, all right, made these changes. I'm going to sleep well tonight. No, you have to be patient, and eventually you get into that routine.
Exactly. Look at all the factors. Prepare yourself for sleep at night.
Yeah.
Wind down, and then make sure you're sleeping in on a comfortable bed, and that everything's right. Uh, typically, you want it to be cooler at night
Mm,
to go to sleep. When it becomes warmer, your body starts to wake up. So make it cooler in the bedroom. Use blankets. Turn down the heat.
mm. Really good point. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about that. But yes, that does make a huge difference.
Yes. And that's going to be a better way. If you look at all these factors and you make adjustments and avoid having to take something for it. We are so used to in this society to take a pill. Give me a pill to fix everything so I don't have to think about it. You need to think about it.
Mm.
You need to make some adjustments if you want to really have good health. Treat yourself well.
Any other thoughts? Final thoughts here. We have a couple of minutes in terms of your sleep hygiene. Any tips or things that maybe we're not thinking of?
Ah, things that we might not be thinking of. Relaxation techniques are good. You might want to do some meditation before you go to bed at night.
Hmm.
If you're thinking of everything that went on throughout the day, you got to shut that down and let it go. Just get into a routine of relaxing, maybe doing some breathing exercises, some meditation, and and just leave that stuff outside of the room. You're not going to fix it while you're sleeping. You
Hmm.
might have a dream that helps you to fix it. Who knows? A good dream. So yeah,
You just
that's
brought
what you
up
want to do.
I wanted to share this idea, and you just inspired it, Cecilia. And my daughter was doing it. I walk in, and she used her TV, and so many smart TVs can get a lot of different apps. So she went on YouTube, relaxation music. It lasts for like 3 hours, set the sleep timer. So I tried it, and I actually slept better, went to sleep faster, free. Just sit
Right.
there and relax to it, and made a big difference, actually.
Yes. And then shut off that phone.
Well, yes, well, get rid of the
Yes.
phone. Yeah, tough to tell a
Yeah.
teen to do that, but get rid of the phone. Your TV's up on the wall or on the dresser anyway, and you can get so many different apps on there. So just click it, and the only negative is we talked about shutting off your Wi-Fi, and you're going to need that for watching YouTube and a video, but got to do the
Yeah.
trade-off.
Yeah. Do you can figure it out where you can record some stuff,
Mm,
on an old-fashioned recorder that turns off. I don't know. You can figure it out.
yeah, but you know what? These things are out there. You have to think about them, and I totally agree with you. And like we said before, trying medications, it's very tough to find the exact sweet spot dosage, the right one, the right situation, and then your body chemistry may change, and then it doesn't work anymore, or you have issues with it.
Yeah. Our body has a specific chemistry. It has a way of an intelligence that
Yeah.
that gets us there. We have to work with that intelligence.
If we just had caves like we had back in the day, a nice cool cave with no Wi-Fi, no EMF, no nothing, just
Right.
sit there and go to sleep, and get a great night's sleep. MyQuantumHeal.com is your website. And if anybody's looking for insight on anything health related, including sleep, they can reach out to you, and it's a free consult available, right?
Yes, 20-minute free consult, and absolutely.
Yeah. After our talk, I'm thinking about a nap. If I had the time, I would definitely take a nap. Naps are
no more than 90 minutes.
Final thought on that. Yes. And I had crazy hours. I used to take exactly 1 hour. My body would wake up after an hour. I didn't even have to set anything. And that was my sweet spot. But yes, you can't overdo it. Because you're just going to mess up your sleep time later in the day.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cecilia, always great having you on with us, and really appreciate it.
I appreciate it as well. Have a great weekend and sleep well.
Yeah, thank you. Sleep well. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.